Pick number 24 is in. Dallas Cowboys taking offensive tackle / guard Tyler Smith from Tulsa. We talked a lot in the podcast, Sam. The Cowboys could probably use an upgrade either at right tackle, certainly could use a starter at left guard with the departed Connor Williams, departed Lyle Collins. Tyler Smith played tackle at Tulsa, but he's, how did Renner describe him? The group of five.
Ike Ekwonu,
right? The dude that's going to crush some people, maybe have some questions in pass pro. So that means maybe he's a tackle, maybe he's a guard, but either way, the Cowboys shoring up their offensive line.
Yeah, and look, I think they have a need at both spots. So he might be a candidate to, let's give him a chance to fail a tackle before we see if he's a guard. I've never quite, Dallas fans are adamant. They only need a guard. They trust Terrence Steele at right tackle. It's not an issue. Terrence Steele has grades in the 60s at tackle. Like, it's not a done deal. This guy,
much improved since his rookie season.
But not good, you know? So I wouldn't be sure that you can just forget about that and move on. You might be wise to see like what Tyler Smith is best at and work from there. But fascinating grading profile, right? 75 grade in 2019, 86 in 2020, 92 in 2021. We are moving fast in the right direction. And that is important for a position that requires a lot of development. Now, this is heavily weighted towards run blocking. Run blocking grade of 94, pass blocking grade of 75. That pass blocking grade actually inflates it, flatters him a little bit. True pass sets, pass blocking grade, 56. So look, this is a guy incredibly raw. But as Renner points out, like to be able to achieve a run blocking grade of 94 without any real idea what you're doing, you know, basically operating entirely off natural ability and raw skill, that's encouraging, right? Because once you teach him what the hell he's doing, we're talking about an absolute dominant force out there.
I like Renner's comp, too. Shades of Lyle Collins, the guy that he could be replacing at right tackle for the Dallas Cowboys. Even if you look at, say, our friend Dane Brugler from The Athletic, who has Tyler Smith, only 50 on his board. He says, look, he hasn't touched his potential yet. It's through the roof. Is he going to be a developmental guy for the Cowboys who, remember, they've got heavy investment in multiple spots along that offensive line. Zach Martin with Tyron Smith. You get a guy in there, and they've got some placeholders, as you mentioned, to Terrence Steele, who's not a disaster there, but they can upgrade. It could be a multi-year play here with Tyler Smith, with the position versatility. Because, yeah, he's awesome in the run game. He's got to get better in pass protection. But here's the other thing we've seen. You can't have four liabilities in pass protection on the offensive line. You could deal with one, right? Especially if they bring something else to the table.
And look, technically, I don't know that they need a starter at either offensive line position. I mean, Connor McGovern wasn't a disaster on the offensive line when he played last year either. Okay, he played a little bit of fullback, and there was some weird rotation involved there because we weren't giving Lyle Collins his job back immediately once he got back. But both, like, he had the same kind of grading profile that Terrence Steele had, right? You're talking about two guys that graded by and large in the 60s, which is okay, but not necessarily what you want to rely on going forward. And if you can pivot to a guy like Tyler Smith who can come in and be better than that, all for the good. But yeah, you're right that Tyler Smith might not be a day one starter. He might be a guy that is for the future, and we rely on teaching him what he's doing. And all of a sudden, maybe you're talking about a guy who's a Tyron Smith successor down the line.
That's true. Else. It could be. Look, I would give him a shot at tackle. When I watch him play, I mean, he's got the big boy strength and the finish, but he is a brawler, a fighter. When they did pull him, he didn't really look like a guard when he was on the move and all that stuff. So I'd probably give him a shot at tackle, see what he can do, see if he can develop. But I think you're definitely getting somebody that can help in the run game immediately. And
this was a guy who his stock has been soaring, right, as we've headed to the draft. This is somebody who you go back to the end of January on PFF's mock draft simulator. This is somebody getting drafted outside of the top 100 picks, you know, and that was just consistently going up and up and up. And as we got towards the draft, was consistently being mocked in the first round, whether it was to Dallas, it happened quite a bit, to Tennessee. He was a guy that was getting sent there. Green Bay was somebody who was a team he was being sent to a lot. So somebody who's really gone, just skyrocketed towards that first round spot as we've approached the draft, as people dug deeper into his tape. And, you know, somebody that the offensive line guys, you know, that kind of group of offensive line Twitters, the Duke Manyweathers, the Jeff Schwartz of the world, it's like you can see what people like about him, but he has a lot of work that needs to be done.
So Cowboys, we'll see if they can get out of him. Tyler Smith to the Cowboys on the offensive line.